Good afternoon, friends. Welcome to our homestead and welcome inside of our greenhouse. Today we're going to be talking about how to avoid pest pressure in your greenhouse and your garden, and the one horrible thing that bugs actually do to your plants that not too many people realize. Let's talk about it. Pest pressure in your greenhouse can be devastating, and some insects can damage multiple types of plants. Things are looking pretty good so far this year for our peppers and our eggplant, and that is because we have dialed in our soil. Getting your soil balanced and with the proper nutrition for each type of plant is so important for avoiding pests. Because a strong and healthy plant is much less susceptible to pests. They go after the weak, sick plants. So that's strategy one. Get your soil very healthy and balanced with the proper nutrition. Before I talk about the other strategies to mitigate the pest pressure in your greenhouse, I want to talk about some common pests and what they can do that's really horrible for all of your plants. So we all know about aphids and what they can do to a plant. They basically suck the life right out of it. But what a lot of people don't know is that ants farm aphids, because aphids have a secretion called honeydew that the ants like to eat. So they have this symbiotic relationship. So if you can control your ants, you can control your aphids. That's probably the most common, but you also have cucumber beetles and flea beetles and cabbage caterpillars or cabbage moths. And you've got leafhoppers, thrips, and whitefly. Now those are the most common, but there are certainly many, many more. We actually had a big battle with armyworms in the past that really devastated everything in our garden. So these insects will harm your plants in numerous different ways. One is by carrying pathogens on their body and transmitting them to the plant. Two is by biting the plant and transferring pathogens that are inside their bodies to the plants themselves. Three is by defecating on the plants. Now people think, oh, well, what's that going to do? But that's also transferring pathogens to the plants on the wounds that they've already created on the plants. And the last one is they can just devour the plant itself. Like a tomato hornworm, if you've ever had one, it can eat an entire tomato plant by itself in pretty much 2 days. The diseases that the insects transfer to your plants are way more devastating than any damage that they can do from eating the plant. For example, cucumber beetles transmit bacterial wilt to your cucumbers, and it's pretty much impossible to reverse that once it gets into the plant's system. So you need to control the cucumber beetle at the beginning, or you're going to lose a lot of your crop. Now let's talk about strategies to mitigate the insect pressure. One thing you can do on a smaller greenhouse or garden is manually remove the pests from the plants. And for us, with our Swiss chard and our broccoli down here, we did just that. This is damaged from about 2 weeks ago, but we took the time and looked underneath each leaf and smashed the cabbage worms that were all over this plant. You can see the remnants of one right here that I did smash, and I don't have any other problems over here. And oddly, they transferred themselves over to our tomato plants, which are right next to them. And strangely, the plants are even in a different family. Tomatoes are a nightshade, and the broccoli is a cruciferous vegetable. And then, of course, make sure the plants are getting the proper amount of water. Certain bugs thrive in really dry environments, and certain ones thrive in really wet environments. So you want to try to keep everything balanced. Another thing that you need to pay very close attention to help mitigate that pest pressure is watering. If you are watering too much or too little, that's going to stress your plants out. And a stressed plant is a weak plant, which invites more pests. So make sure you are starting your watering a few hours after sunrise and then stopping watering everything about 5 hours before sunset. The next strategy we have is insect netting. Now this is a frost blanket, but it can be used as insect netting. So there are insects everywhere and you can't kill them all, essentially, unless you spray nasty pesticides everywhere, and nobody wants to do that anymore. And that's a good thing, but you have to prevent them from getting on your crops. And covering them with an insect net or something is a great strategy of prevention. You can even go as far as to tape down this insect netting or frost cloth to your beds themselves. Commercial growers will sometimes even tape off with insect netting their entire greenhouse. And whatever you want to use to do that, use it, because keeping the insects off in the first place is really important. Here's something else that's important, and that is understanding what insects you have in the first place. Because if you don't understand what's attacking your plants, you cannot treat for them. So if they've already got past your lines of defense, your nutritious soil and your insect guards, then you need to identify what it is that is attacking your plant. And if you can't identify them, then you've got a serious problem if you need to treat for them. So you need to be out in your greenhouse or your garden every single solitary day. If it's not to do anything else, it's just to walk around and look to see if there's any damage to your plants. Now, one way to do this is to put up these sticky traps. See this little thing right here? Kind of looks like a flower. And this has actually started to catch these little flies on the top. Now, putting on my glasses, I can see that these are whiteflies. Yes, whiteflies absolutely love pepper plants. This is not a method of prevention, even though they are attracted to it and they will stick all over it. I've already got 5 or 6 on here so far, just putting it in this morning. We need to treat these, or treat this whole pepper bed with something to keep these whiteflies off, and I'll show you what that is. Now, when it comes to things like aphids and fungus gnats, you can control them with a very strong stream of water. Although with aphids, you do want to control those ants too. Our bok choy has run its course for the year and it is bolting, but in that it's a little stressed. So we've got a little bit of pest pressure here on them. Just really hose them off and blast them off, and that will help a lot. That's not going to work with every pest, so let me show you some other control strategies that we use. Now, here's something we use as a preventative and also something that will kill an insect. And that's a good combination of neem oil and Castile soap. I'll leave a link for all of these in the description below the video. As a quick aside, let me talk about the soap really quick. This is the Dr. Bronner's Pure Castile Soap, unscented. And this one does not have SLS in it. And that's sodium lauryl sulfate. I thought for years that the Dr. Bronner's Sal Suds was a good organic version for the garden, but it has SLS in it. Thankfully, their unscented Pure Castile soap doesn't. But I also found this Brittany's Time Pure Castile soap. It also doesn't have SLS in it. Get yourself a very good sprayer for this that's going to last you for years. Now, I did a video review of certain sprayers, including this one, in the past in 2 different videos. So check those out at the top of the screen. We're going to mix 1 ounce of neem oil to 2 parts of soap to 1 gallon of water. And we can spray that as a preventative, and if we do see insects, it will kill them. Our next category of prevention and mitigation of insects in your garden and your greenhouse is maybe tied for first with soil nutrition. And that is beneficial insects. And included in that are beneficial bacteria like BT. Thuricide BT is good, but it only works with soft-bodied caterpillar type of insects. If you want to control things like hornworms and cabbage moths, this is the way to go. But beneficial insects can really help to stabilize and kill off the pests that are in your greenhouse. Let's talk about what a few of those are. One we are adding this year is the green lacewing. The green lacewing is the best overall general purpose predator insect that you can put in your garden or greenhouse. Of course, we know assassin bugs, praying mantis, ladybugs, and things like that are all great, but they only target certain things. Ladybugs target aphids, but usually there are so many aphids, it overwhelms the ladybugs. They can't keep control of them unless you have just a massive amount of them. There are also little mite predators that you can get to add to your garden that will help to control any mites. There's a lot of them with very scientific names, so I'm not going to name them all here in the video. But also there are parasitic wasps, and those mainly attack things like tomato hornworm. They actually lay their eggs on the back of the hornworm, and then those larvae, once they start to hatch, will suck the life out of the hornworm. It's kind of a slow death, and that hornworm can still be going around and eating your plants. So it's nice to have those around, but it's good to use your 2 eyes and actually pick them off your plants. And one of the most important things to remember is ABL. Always be looking, because out here shooting this video today, I noticed that I've got a hornworm on these tomatoes behind me. And that's why you need to be out in your garden every single day, just keeping an eye out. The easiest way for hornworms is to use a purple UV light, come out here in the dark, and just pick them off and kill them. These aren't very expensive. I'll also leave a link for this in the description below the video. Well, that's it, friends. Hopefully those strategies will help you keep your garden and your greenhouse pest-free. And if you do get some pests, hopefully those other strategies I gave you will help to mitigate them the best that you possibly can. And hopefully our green lacewings hatch out soon to be able to take care of the whitefly that's on those peppers. Okay, if you have any questions, please leave them for me in the comments section below the video. Now go check out this series of videos right here, which shows you how we built this greenhouse by ourselves. Have a beautiful, blessed day. See you next time. Bye.